Hi, my name is Steve Diamond, and I'm here to tell you a story about what happened to me when I was a young boy in New York City. This story takes place in the early 1960s, and I was probably in first grade or second grade, and we grew up in a place called the Leicester, which was a cement six-story buildings. There were like 50 of them, and they're all connected to local Union 3, the electrical union. So the only people who could live there are people who worked in the electrical union or had connections to the electrical union. And at that time, my father had connections to the electrical union. So we lived in this great place. Everything was made of cement playgrounds, cement everything. So I went to PS 200 and I met some good friends there. In my first, second grade, I met my friend named Robbie, and we were really big sports fans. We loved baseball, and all we ever got to play with was with a wiffle bat. It was a plastic bat and a plastic ball with holes in it. It was called the wiffle ball, and we played baseball, and we had a great time. But we always wanted to play with a real wooden bat. And my father kept saying, "Ah, you're not ready yet. Don't worry, you're not ready yet." And I was about 6 years old. And then one day, my neighbor knocked on our door. We lived on the sixth floor, and he said to my father, he said, "Here's a wooden bat my son's too big for. Can Steve use this?" My dad said, "Sure, we'll take it." My father said, "You're not ready to play with it." I said, "Come on." I was swinging the bat madly. My mother would say, "Steve, play with the bat nice. Play with the bat nice." I was like swinging it. Can't wait to use it. But my father said, "No, you're not ready yet. Wait till you get a little older." So the bat stayed in my closet. And one day, my best friend Robbie was in my house on the sixth floor. We looked at the playground, and there were about 6, 7, 8 guys playing, and they were having a catch, but there was no bats. And there's a rule in New York City that said if you bring in equipment and use in the game, they have to let you play in the game. So I looked at Robbie. We both had this idea. Here's the bat. So I started asking my mom, Mom. And my mom was on the phone. And so she hates being disturbed on the phone. We were screaming, "Mom, we got to go out. We got to go out. I got to play, Mom. We got to go. We got to go." And finally, my mother said, "All right, just go. Be back in an hour for dinner." We said, "Great." So we grabbed the bat. We took the elevator downstairs. We ran to the playground. And the bigger kids saw us, and they made like a face, but they knew the rule. They were glad to see the bat. So we chose up sides for the baseball game. And it was in the cement playground. And me and Robbie were on the same team. And I was up to bat. I was bigger, so I was ahead of Robbie. So I got up there. I had the bat for the first time. This is my first baseball bat experience, my first real game. I was so excited. All I ever did was play wiffle ball. So I never checked back at me, but Robbie was so excited. He was standing behind me. So I didn't look or check anything. So the first pitch came in, nothing. The second pitch, I swung back, and then I hit the ball, and the ball went really far. And all the kids were amazed how this little kid hit the ball so far. And he only go to first, go to second, go to third. And I was rounding third base. They said, "Try to make it home." I was like going crazy, and I was about to go, and I saw my friend Robbie gushing blood, holding his eyes, screaming. And I froze. I couldn't make it to home plate. And I started crying. I said, "Oh my God, what did I do? I killed my friend Robbie. I knocked his eye out." So I started searching on the ground for his eye. And then there was this man in the parking lot, Johnny. He sold ice cream. And he had this truck, and he heard all the commotion. And he came running over the towel, and he put the towel on Robbie's eye. And he says, "Come on, get in the truck." So we got to ride in Johnny's truck to Robbie's apartment. And he let us out, and I went up the elevator, and I brought Robbie home to his mom. And his mom said, "Okay, go home. I'll take it from here." And so she cleaned up his eye, and I went home. And being a little kid, I said, "Mom, I'm going to jail. I knocked out Robbie's eye in the game. It's all my fault. This dumb bat. I wasn't ready to play. I'm an idiot." Blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden the phone rang, and Robbie's mom said that Robbie's okay. His eye is okay. He just had to get the stitches in his head. So it's all cleaned up. Everything's fine. So then my father came home, and he said, "You see, I told you that, you weren't ready to play." And I realized that sometimes we don't listen to our parents because we think we know better than them. So I told my dad, "You're right." I put the bat in the closet, and it stayed there for the rest of the year. But then you better believe the next year I was ready to play with it.